What is up, guys, gals, you awesome means and gamers of different shapes and sizes. It is me, Josh, again, Proxy, bringing you some Paladins today on the PlayStation 4 Pro. And you know what? It's actually kind of awesome. I'm actually having a really good time of it. I only played a little bit of it, but from what I've actually experienced, I'm having a dandy time. It's like a party in my eye sockets, and oh, look at all the colors. Am I on drugs? I'm not too sure, but this game feels like it because it's so different. You know, I mean, there's gonna be those slight little similarities between other multiplayer-focused games. I mean, some of the characters really do feel like copies of a specific game. Maybe called Overwatch, but don't tell them I said that. But it's just this thing where even though there are those similarities, there are also many differences. And I feel like it's got a respectable amount of differences that you can't judge it for what it actually copies. But then again, it's this thing where even though this game has come out and it's been on PC for quite a while from what I remember, it's still in beta phase. It's kind of like, it's free to play, but I don't know if it's going to be one of these things where it's like Warframe, where it's going to be always in beta because their excuse will be it will never be like finished because it's always going to be developed. We do not know. But for what it plays like, I mean, look, you can see Fernando here, the guy with the gigantic shield wall, looks a little bit like Reinhardt. I mean, a bit more specifically like a knight. But even though he has that shield wall, his main weapon isn't a hammer. It's a frickin' flamethrower. As you can see, look, which is kind of different. I mean, it's not a frickin' hammer that you punch people through walls with. And so, with that, and again, like, I'm playing as a character who is kind of like Soldier 76, but then has a sniper rifle attached. It's kind of like Widowmaker and Soldier 76 combined to one. Then she also throws mines that kind of like, as you can see, kind of like tether onto enemies and do damage over time. And then even like a portal. I mean, that's kind of like Reaper. So it's like, there are kind of like abilities in there that seem so similar, but then they're not. They have something about them that feels a little bit different, that makes them feel a little bit unique and makes them kind of have these different playstyles and tactics. But then again, it's kind of like having all these characters turn into hybrids as well. So even though we may actually treat Overwatch as the original, the godfather of these types of games, it's not, in a sense, if you make like any meaning from that. It's kind of that thing where everything is so kind of like meshed together that it actually ends up feeling like a completely different game. But then again, the art style is different as well. Like, you have this combination as well of fantasy and sci-fi, which is kind of cool. So Kinessa, who I'm playing with, is kind of like a futurist. I mean, the best way of explaining it is kind of like Battleborn. As we already know, Battleborn had this combination of fantasy and sci-fi as well, where it was kind of like high technology with also kind of like this whole like elven thing, you know, where it's all kind of like bows and arrows and, you know, magical powers and stuff. And then you also had like rockets and tanks and mechs and stuff. Not mechs, but more like cyborgs. And so I kind of like that. I kind of appreciate that kind of like mix of art styles and also themes into a singular game. So again, like Kinessa is a modern day soldier, but her modern day rifle is powered by a crystal. So it's kind of, it's like League of Legends. It's really cool to be able to reference all these multiple games, because it means that you can't kind of like aim at one. It means that there are so many different kind of examples that try to do it, but which one does it better? That is all based on our opinion and your opinion, you know? You will have one that you prefer, I'll have one that I prefer. I mean, I have been enjoying this game. One thing that really annoys me is the loot box system in it. Obviously, all these free-to-play games have loot crates, and it's this thing where you can get random scans, and you can also buy them and stuff, but a lot of them don't feel very friendly, and so Paladins kind of goes into that non-friendly area, and it also does that thing as well where you have like a massive roster of characters, but if you actually want to play as all the specific characters, you have to buy them, or you can keep grinding them out unless you end up playing as the select kind of like, you know, roster for the week, which is generally like, what, 3 to 4 characters or something. I think it's Heroes of the Storm does that. But I would love to, again, I'd love to know your opinion of these kind of like design choices that you actually find in these games. Do you like it when you actually have all the characters to select from in a free-to-play game, or would you like it where you feel like you can have like a little bit of a taste of a platter? Kind of like, you know, they brought this buffet out and you can try a few of the samples, but then you may actually want to stick with eating the little sausages on sticks. You know, maybe you actually want to take the whole tray, but if you want to take the whole tray, you might have to pay a little. Or dedicate a lot of time around the tray of little sausages and cocktail sticks. I'm not too sure, but we're having a little bit of fun. We're kicking some serious ass. You may notice that there's a really nice combination of characters where there's different designs. Again, it kind of goes with that sci-fi and like fantasy theme where everything kind of just like works together. There is a little bit of cheese with the design as well, but it feels welcoming. It feels nice. Also, really good headshot there by me. I am generally really sucky when it comes to sniper rifles, but I'm doing quite well. Maybe it's just because I'm feeling good while I'm playing this match, I'm not too sure. It also has some very unique game mechanics in it as well. This is something that I will actually mention right now, is that healing is based on teamwork. So you don't actually have like a focused medic. There are like the 1 or 2 support characters that can minorly kind of heal you. And also, there's a character that looks like Rocket Raccoon, where his ultimate, he turns everyone into chickens. And that means that they can all die really quickly by your team. But I think that's just awesome, that everyone turns into little cluckers. Mother cluckers. I'm tagging that. But with that being said, it is this thing where there are so many different game mechanics that it actually makes it feel fresh and unique as well. So the one thing you may notice is we're playing Payload. Now, with Payload, there's a lot of games that already do a Payload thing, like, say, Team Fortress or Overwatch. Again, you know, it's not an old... I mean, even, say, the old Unreal Tournament actually had a Payload mode in it. It wasn't the same, really, but it was still kind of cool. Now, with that, it's a little bit unique in this game where instead of it just being one, like, team on defense, which might end up having this really cool crafted, like, team of defenders, and then having like a team of assault people, you know, and always having to play that kind of thing, and then thinking to yourself, oh, well, if we're playing defense, then I'll play the defense characters. No, it doesn't actually work like that. It's a thing where you have the payload in the middle, this gigantic circle, as you can see here, and then the enemy team or your team have to go in the circle and capture it. But then whoever gets that has to push the payload. So it's not a focused thing of one team has payload and pushes it and the other team defends. That means that in the match you have to play defense and offense, which I love. I love that it's a thing where you have to actually mix up the play styles, where it makes it so the characters don't feel like they're actually running one specific role. So, and as mentioned again, it's this thing where at the beginning of matches and stuff, you have to play as a character. Now, with that, you can't switch characters mid-fight. It's kind of like League of Legends in that sense, where you have one focused character, or Dota, you know, so it's got a little bit of a MOBA move to it. So you get that character, you're stuck with that character, and then there you go. You've got to try and play that character for the entire match. And a great thing is that all the characters feel defensive, but also offensive. So, like, Kinessa here has mines, and these mines are really bad, so you can basically throw those behind enemy lines, and then they'll actually tether onto enemies and damage them over time. So as you can see here, really good for people hiding behind corners, and also because obviously with these types of games, people are generally aiming in one direction. You have one team on one side, another team on the other side, and so if you can get behind the enemy team, drop those mines down, you can actually tether people up the butthole, do damage to them, and their butt cheeks will eventually die, and they won't even realize. They'll think, oh, I'm just taking damage from the front. So it's kind of cool that you have those tactics to it. Kinessa also has a personal teleporter. She can obviously as well do this thing where she kind of goes into a scope mode. Her ultimate, this is the thing, all the characters have an ultimate. Her ultimate is that she kind of like tags multiple enemies and does critical damage over time. A little bit like, and I know I'm kind of referencing another Overwatch kind of thing, but kind of like Soldier 76, you know, where you can kind of like have all these multiple markers and you kind of do homing shots. She doesn't have homing shots. She just kind of like, anyone that's in front of her will take extra damage. So it's very useful for, say, sniping if you are really, really good at sniping. I personally aren't, and so I kind of just focus more on the automatic rifle kind of thing. But, I mean, as you can see, look, I'm trying my best. I'm trying to mix things up a little bit here. You may notice as well, this is something, if you are brand new to our videos now, is that I am actually doing fast forwards between all the jargon, which basically means that I want to focus on all the combat to actually bring you all that fun stuff, instead of just you watching players kind of just, you know, riding a horse, as you can see here. So again, it has those things like Heroes of the Storm, where you can ride ponies, but in this one, you can ride unicorn ponies, which you can do in Heroes of the Storm as well, but it's in a third-person angle. So you're kind of like traveling to the payload. The matches aren't that big, well, not the matches, but the maps in the matches aren't that big. The matches aren't that big either, I guess, in a sense. So it's that thing where, why they have horses, I'm not too sure. I guess it's so then you can actually get to the middle as fast as possible. And it's something that Overwatch doesn't have, and it's something that I was always kind of like grumbling about when I played Overwatch. Because say that you are actually on the defensive team, and the enemy team end up killing you, you have to walk all the way from the beginning, all the way to the payload again, and the payload might be like miles away, and so there's always that massive walk, and you generally have to kind of like depend on a specific character to actually teleport you over there. But in this, you actually get a little transport, you get a little pony to ride. I mean, isn't that cute? And so I kind of appreciate that. I kind of like that they maybe actually looked at Overwatch, or looked at other games and went, if we take this, how do we improve it? What do we actually add on top of it? And that kind of feels like what Paladins is. That doesn't make it a better game, it just makes it an equal game. It's just kind of like works in the exact same theme. And it's one of those things as well where it's like, more is good? I know people say less is more, but more is actually really, really good here, because we have another Overwatch. It's free if you don't want to pay full price for Overwatch, and it plays pretty much on the exact same level, you know? And there's just that much kind of like uniqueness to it where you don't feel like you're... Also, really good move there. Like, this guy was actually rushing at me with his little revolver thing. Kind of feel, again, a lot of the characters do feel like kind of representations of other characters in other games. But this is thing, again, where it feels different. So that guy there was rushing at me. He obviously could have taken me out because I'm a long-range character. Then I dropped down my mine, was able to defend myself. Again, able to play that defensive role even though I'm actually trying to push offense. So it's kind of cool that you can do things like that. We're actually potentially about to win here, which is quite nice. I do like that. But I would love to know your opinions in the comment section below when it comes to Paladins. What do you think of it? What are your favorite characters? What do you not like about it? What do you actually use in other games that you prefer in those compared to this? Now, the last thing I was going to mention was something that I was actually originally talking about, but I got a little bit distracted, is the healing in the game. I'm a massive medic when it comes to playing games. I love to be that person you can defend when it comes to medicing. And so in this game, it's a little bit different. You actually play it based on a team effort. You do actually have minor support roles, like say the character Ying, who can use her decoys to heal people, but in this, you actually have to stick together next to each other as a team, and you may notice on the bottom left, that little green bar that's going down, that is actually your delay until you can heal yourself. Now, the only way that you can actually heal yourself is if you don't do any combat. You can be in combat, but just do not use any of your abilities or any of your attacks, and then you'll actually activate your healing. But based on the number of people stood next to you on your team, that is actually how you'll also get your healing rates. It's that really cool thing where you have to stick together as a team as well, help each other, and you will get your health back. Kind of like that. I think it's kind of cool. I think we're actually about to gain the win here. Only a few seconds. Oh, look at that! Literally, on the moment that we were about to like go into overtime, we gained that victory, which is pretty freaking awesome. But comment section below, let me know what do you think to this. I would love to know. It's been me, Josh, Kinessa, Proxy, getting top play as well as Kinessa. Boom shakalaka, baby. Would you like to see some more gameplay of this? Again, would love to know all of your opinionage. But it has been me, Josh, Kinessa, Proxy, bringing you some Paladins. Remember to drop a like if you enjoyed this video and why not subscribe for more possible Paladins content in the future. Obviously, we'll be doing a review of this. And so, I hope you enjoyed it, and possibly, potentially, I'll see you all next time too. Ciao for now.